Alright, hey everybody. This is Eric Tries Too Hard. I'm doing another mock draft. Assuming that I got this started correctly. I don't see my player thing. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I jumped in a little bit late. This time I picked the 11th spot because I wanted to do a draft immediately, and that's what happened to be open. So this time I guess what I want to do, I'm going to do a normal draft and talk it through. But I am not going to draft a quarterback or tight end. Just not. I mean, I'll see if I draft one, but I'll end up just kind of looking every round to see who's available, as an exercise to kind of show just how late you can wait for a tight end or what's it called, or a quarterback. It's a little. I think of the positions because they're so deep. I don't even know what they're called. So I got some feedback on my last mock drafts, and the responses were, keep doing them, but please use Fantasy Football Calculator instead of ESPN. Yes, that loud and clear. Alright, so first pick, I probably want a running back if I can grab one, just from position scarcity, and I don't like McCoy as much as I like Forte. I think Forte has potential stability, and really, really high upside. I mean, so does McCoy, but as far as the stability, new team, that scares the shit out of me. Rookies and new teams, and I know it's probably a noob stance to take, but like, if you like McCoy better than Forte, then great. But I still think taking one of them is better than taking a wide receiver based on what's off the board and what I know is coming up from doing so many of these drafts obsessively. Andrew Luck, Odell Beckham, great. I see DeMarco Murray's another where I feel like, I know he got ran into the ground, but I really, really like him. And I love Calvin Johnson. If I can get him on the back end of this, or the middle of the second round, I love it. Should I really be taking Gronk again? This is the third draft in a row of taking Gronk. No, I'm not taking a tight end. That settles it between Gronk and Murray. But I'm not taking a tight end. So who's available? We have one quarterback off the board. So in round one, we have every quarterback, every tight end on the board. If I take a tight end or a quarterback in round one, I end up hating my team. Typically, that's what happens. So round two, all Gronks, all tight ends are available. All Gronks belong to us, and Aaron Rodgers and any other quarterback is still on the board. Still not happy with taking Rodgers in that second round. I probably would have been happy taking Gronk in the second round. So we'll keep that in mind and in our heads if we ever want to switch out Marco for Gronk. Gronk still hasn't been taken? What's happening? Okay. That was happening on the ESPN boards a lot. But I assumed it was because people weren't paying attention, or people were just like, I don't know, like if Brady's getting suspended, maybe they're just like, oh, he's gonna. I don't think his suspension is gonna impact him that much. If anything, they have to rely on him even more, and you get more out of the productivity. Not productivity. Volume. I just woke up. How are you guys doing? Alright, so let's use our who's getting tooken now. So yeah, there's the average during the middle of the second round. There's the typical run of running backs who, I guess Frank Gore could have gone later. Frank Gore went above Sean McCoy. How far does McCoy have to slip before I take him? Probably late second round. No, because even at that point, I would have taken Gronk or Calvin Johnson over him. I think I'm way too high on Calvin Johnson. I don't know. I feel it coming. Alright, towards the end of the second, Justin Forsett. AJ Green. Who got taken? Okay, so I guess Frank Gore, Andrew Luck, and Aaron Rodgers got taken earlier, so which is why you're seeing like a run of, you're seeing the person who picked first getting AJ Green, followed by Alshon Jeffrey. Jesus. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, and there goes the second tight end off the board, Jimmy Graham in the third. That's pretty standard. I think the positions are just so deep that Gronk is the one anomaly that throws it. But even Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers, for what you have to give up to get them where they're going, is not nearly as impactful as the difference between whatever quarterback you end up getting and those top end quarterbacks. And I guess Jimmy Graham and Gronkowski may prove to end up being that much better at their position. But then again, I mean, Gronk got picked pretty late. I was going to say the difference between Gronk, if I had taken Gronk over, I think if DeMarco Murray does well, and the difference between DeMarco Murray and whatever other pick that I would have taken there, or better yet, whatever running back two I would have to play each week, because it's not about what you pick, it's about where you have to play. Whatever running back that I would have played instead of him, I think the difference would not be as great, or it would be greater than the difference between if I had Gronk versus whatever tight end that I take, and I'm going to take one in how many rounds is this? 15? I'll probably take one in 15. See what happens. Realistically, I'd take them in probably the 11th or 12th. Alright, so who do we have? Melvin Gordon. Wow, that's a lot of running backs. Is Brandon Cooks gone? Was I not paying attention? Yeah, you went a while ago. Jordan Matthews, Jonathan Stewart. I like those two right here. Let's see. Man. Okay. So pretty much everybody but the top two quarterbacks and tight ends are available, just to keep an eye on that. Oh, man. I might. And I could just go. Jordan Matthews. No, Carlos Hyde. Sorry. Did I actually tell it? No, I got it. Okay. Yeah, so Carlos Hyde it was. I like Jordan Matthews, but it's not as guaranteed safe as I want. Who's Carlos Hyde is? I keep shying away from Mark Ingram, and I could be stupid for that. I also shy away from Latavius Murray. I do not have high hopes for Latavius Murray. There goes Jordan Matthews. Damn it. I like Andre Johnson. The only thing I could do here, because I really should just take a wide receiver. And now I'm kind of wishing I'd taken Jordan Matthews. I would have felt better about that. As I would take, and Peyton Manning is still available. It's the 4th. So let's see. I like Amari Cooper a lot, actually. I also like Jonathan Stewart a lot, and Mark Ingram a lot. But I guess I'm going to take, for position-wise, I'm going to take Amari Cooper. I know, it's probably a really stupid thing that I just did. I kind of set myself up in a wacky position because I had taken running back, and that may have influenced it. Okay, so here's actually, a good example. Had I had another minute to think about that, like say say I had 2 minutes to think about my pick, I probably would have ended up taking Jonathan Stewart, and here's why. So I take Jonathan Stewart, I instantly feel dumb because I'm like, well, I picked 4 players, and one of them I cannot start. But the truth is, with how shaky, Carlos Hyde may not be the most. Who knows what ends up happening? Although I know people a lot of hype on him. And who knows, Jonathan Stewart could end up injured, but whatever. I'd probably take Jonathan Stewart because then I end up going, you know what? I take the hit because I painted myself into this corner. But instead of making further mistakes, which potentially taking Amari Cooper over, over Jonathan Stewart may have been an additional mistake I made because I was already making a mistake. Is that clear? Like, you paint yourself into a corner by making mistakes, and then you can either continue making mistakes to try to make up for that, which would be like taking a lesser player because they're in a position that you can actually start, or you can take an extra hit and just acknowledge your mistake of, oh, you know what? Let's say I think Jonathan Stewart is way, way better than Cooper in that pick, which isn't necessarily true, but let's say I do. I take the hit, I put myself in a position where one of these players is going to sit on my bench, and I'm going to feel like a dummy in the draft. I'm going to feel like a dummy myself and a dummy on this video. But when the season starts, I then have somebody that, oh, okay, I think I can Like I think it's the better move. I still have a better flex spot, and then depending how things shake up, I think at least one of them is going to have a particularly good season. All right, so it continues. God, these third and fourth rounds get kind of confusing and boring. I feel very confident every first two, and then from 5 on. But 3 and 4, it's just like, well, here's where you have the highest like risk versus reward. And normally the drafts that I have are pretty like 2 or 3 players for each pick are pretty much toss-ups, but here it's like it could have looked very differently. It could have been Matt Forte, Gronk, who would I have taken then if I hadn't taken Gronk? I guess probably Jordan Matthews, and then Kosai probably wouldn't have been there, so then Jonathan Stewart. I don't know how much better I would have liked that. Actually, the more I look at this team, I'm liking it. It's weird, because you can be like, oh, my team sucks because I know what players were available when I was taking them, and I could have put the puzzle together a little bit better, probably. Gotten a little bit more value, but at the end of the day, I was just covering the screen with my hands, but you can't see that because it's just a screenshot. I was covering up every team but mine. I was like, but at the end of the day, this is the only one that really matters as far as I'm concerned. You can only control yourself. All right, so there goes Peyton Manning at the end of the 4th as the 3rd quarterback off the board. So up until now, I've had pretty much free reign of anyone except for like the top tier of each position. So we'll see how far that goes. I'd still be happy. There are plenty of tight ends and quarterbacks I'd still be very, very happy with that. So far, I don't think the difference between the quarterbacks and tight ends taken off the board and the quarterbacks and tight ends still available is not nearly as great as the difference between whatever pick I would have had to make had I grabbed a quarterback or tight end versus the one that I did pick, especially in those first 2 rounds. I'm very comfortable not having a tight end or quarterback right now. We'll see if that confidence holds in about 6 or 7 rounds. When you got that, like, there are moments that I keep finding where I think there's 2 big like jumps. One where Cam Newton's just hanging out there, and you're like, man, I can wait 1 more round and grab him. I can wait till I get all my starters and grab him, like, because sometimes he'll hang that low. And you never do. You always wait 1 too long. Same with Tony Romo, much later. Tony Romo seems to be the guy who's going very consistently going as the last of the really high potential guys who are going super late. And I always skip over him because I think I'm going to grab him on the way back, and he's never there. So I think, yeah, I'm probably going to end up, if I get greedy, which I do in mock drafts, I get greedy all the time, because it's a mock draft. Even though, like, emotionally I connect to it like it's the real draft, I get so mad when I make a mistake. Oh, there goes. Okay, so here's a run of quarterbacks. This actually is a really good, I guess, group of teams. Oh, it's a really good group of teams because for this particular draft, for what we're trying to show here. All right, so a shit ton of quarterbacks went off the board, and so did Travis Kelce. Don't feel like taking a tight end here. I think there are plenty of other players I can grab instead. Keenan Allen's an interesting choice. There's Greg Olsen, Macklin, Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry. All right, so I'm going to shut up while I make this pick. I think I want Jarvis Landry right here. Yeah, because, okay, so Allen Robinson, I really don't trust the Jets. You know what? To me, the Jacksonville offense is terrible until proven otherwise, and I'm not gonna. I know he did pretty well before he got injured. I had him on and Denard Robinson for a couple of weeks on my team last year. Where is Denard Robinson? What's up with him? I haven't looked him up in a while. But, like, I had both of them on my team for a couple of weeks last year in one of my leagues, and they did great. But I'd rather just take something I feel more trust in, and I liked watching Landry towards the end of last year. I love Tannehill for this year. I love the Dolphins for this year. So that makes me very perfectly fine to take him. And then Keenan Allen is just someone who's like, no, everyone keeps saying, no, trust me, he's going to have a good year. He's going to come back. He's going to have a good year. And so to me, it's like, we'll see. Sure. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. I also like Fantasy Football Calculator because you end up just getting to click, drag all your guys over here. Little watch list. It's very intuitive. I think it's well done. All right. Another reason I like these rounds 5 to like 8 is there are a lot of guys who I really like in there. Maybe because I feel like the pressure's off, and I feel like when I grab my first 4 picks, I kind of need them to hit. Biggest like points of pressure, like those first 2. Maybe it's the 3rd and 4th because there's most variability. All right, who we got? Keenan Allen is still there. I still don't want to. I'd rather Cecil have. You know what? I'll be the one who misses out on his on his thing. So there's still Greg Olsen available in the 6th. Let's see, and then here's where Tony Romo and Matt Ryan and company. All right, let me figure out my pick. Jake Bell is interesting. I like Abdullah, but I want to see if I can grab him in the next round. I don't want to take him right here. Maybe I do. Look who else is available. I don't really. This might be a place where I might actually, because of who's available, I might actually take. I'll take Joyke Bell. I'll take the risk on Joyke Bell based on whoever's here. Here's a pick, though. I may have actually taken Greg Olsen or Matt Ryan or Tony Romo, just because of who else was available. Because just scrolling down, there's a couple of guys I really like Charles Johnson, who I like better than a lot of these wide receiver options, or Trey Mason, who I think's. Oh no, I have my running back core for the beginning of the. Whenever I get thin on running backs early on, I love it because you end up being able to grab somebody like Trey Mason or D'Angelo Williams, and you can just coast for a little bit. But yeah, so like based on who was here, I might have even taken Tom Brady. But based on who was here, I probably would have taken a quarterback or tight end right there at 6. I probably could have gotten a lot of value from that because as opposed to Joyke Bell, who is kind of a big question mark. Some people are even just taking Abdullah and leaving Joyke Bell just there. If Abdullah comes back, which he won't, that's who I'd grab probably next just to lock that up. So that's kind of a throwaway pick, but it's still like it's more of a take a chance on it. I might have grabbed Giovanni Bernard there as well. Like those are 2 I was really thinking of. I wouldn't necessarily want to just straight up take Abdullah there. I'd rather, because again, that unproven factor, if he is available for a later round thing where I feel more comfortable, I'd take him. Especially because right now, if you look, I've got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, all that'll happily start, and a flex that'll start. And so now I'm really just working on my bench, or I can work on QB and tight end. But usually there's somebody for the bench that I would rather have than a QB or a tight end. Let's see. Oh, this is funny. Did it log me out? It says I've timed out? What? We'll see. I guess on the next round we'll see if this was like a complete waste or not. That would piss me off. And cause me to immediately go back to ESPN. Fuck this shit. Alright. Fuck the draft. Fuck the wine. Fuck the game. Okay, so so there goes Tony Romo. That's the round where it could have been. So like right now, I probably instead of Joyke Bell, I would have probably wanted to take Tony Romo. But then again, Matt Ryan could possibly come back. Same with Tom Brady. And grabbing Tom Brady and like Tannehill or Eli Manning much later, that's nothing. That is fantastic. That is a perfect scenario, even if Tom Brady gets his full suspension. All right, let's see what's coming up next. As you can tell, the enthusiasm in my voice is draining as I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that this has probably timed out. So there goes Matt Ryan as well. So yeah, this would have been the round, especially with that run. This would have been the round had I not been, what's it called? Had I not been like doing this quote-unquote theme draft of not taking a tight end or a quarterback until the very end. I would have taken Tony Romo or Matt Ryan. And so, or if Tom Brady comes back, then that's even, yeah, but should Bell pick? I'm bummed about that pick. I don't know who else I would have grabbed. Like, I didn't really like anybody else. Oh, you know what, though? It looks like it'll let me put a dude in. So let's see. Nope. Oh. So, no, there goes Eli and Tom Brady. Jesus. I don't like Darren McFadden at all. I don't even want to touch Darren McFadden. Let's see if it works. Because I do want Charles Johnson. I like Charles Johnson a lot, and considering my wide receiver depth isn't... I guess it's fine, but if Carlos Hyde shits the bed, I kind of want somebody in a flex spot. Man, that's a bummer about... Well, it's not a bummer that those two are gone. That actually shows it. It's like, wow, that round 6 was where to take the quarterback, because that's the whole run of guys that I would have been happy with. There's still plenty of guys I'd be happy with at quarterback, who now at this point, did it work? Am I gonna get my cap? Yes. Okay. Excellent. So time me out, but I can still. Chris Ivory. Is it gonna give me Chris Ivory? Yes. Okay. We're good. Okay. We found a workaround. That's nice. Okay. I didn't really think about that pick, but Mike Wallace and Roddy White to me are kind of lottery tickets. Vincent Jackson, sure. I don't even like. I don't even really like Darren McFadden if I have Randall, which is a stupid risk to take, but still. But yeah, if you look, so quarterbacks were still left even after that gigantic run of quarterbacks. That again should have taken someone in round 6. That's where I would have taken a quarterback based on what was happening so far and what was available versus the quarterbacks that were available. I think that would have been the place to get some value. But I didn't, and in a real draft, I probably would have taken that, but let's say I got greedy, and I was like, I'll get Tom Brady on the backswing, it'll be fine. And I got greedy, and then that happened. I'm still feeling okay. It's not an optimal draft because I didn't do that, but or because I missed that run, but as a starter that I can probably take in 4 rounds from now, not really, but Matthew Stafford, Ryan Matthews, who else is left? Tannehill, love Tannehill, Phillip Rivers even. Who else? Teddy Bridgewater is a stretch. Sam Bradford, wait. Yeah, Sam Bradford. I feel like I said someone who wasn't a quarterback. Oh my god. Still waking up. I'll do another one of these in a second. Yeah, so there's still 4 or 5 people who I'd be totally willing to start. That asshole took Peyton Manning, and 2 rounds later took Tony Romo. Same with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Son of a bitch. Are you watching this live? Do you know I'm doing this and you're being assholes? Damn, that guy took Gronk 2nd, Drew Brees 5th, and Tony Romo 7th. See, that's the other thing, is you really only focus on your team, because you can feel like, oh, there go Tannehill and Stafford, Jesus Christ. Well, this is working out how I expected it. But then again, maybe this is just deceiving. Maybe this is where they go, and I just haven't played on Fantasy Football Calculator in a while, which I love this because you can see everybody's team the whole time, and it just is a draft board. Man. Alright. So, so we haven't even really looked at the tight ends in a while. So let's look at quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And even Kaepernick as a ticket, not really. I would actually, as of here, be completely satisfied. Maybe 2 of these 4. If I had to take one of these 4, I'd be like, alright, fine. But if you look, I'm the only one who doesn't have a quarterback, and 2 people already have backup quarterbacks. It's the start of round 9, and there's still 4 people left. So 4 people. So a total of 6 people would have to take backup quarterbacks, and everyone else would have a quarterback before I start to go, oh shit, I have to take I have to take like Kaepernick or Winston. I am from Baltimore, and no, I would not be taking Joe Flacco. Not in fantasy. Alright, so let's look at tight end and see what's up. Jordan Cameron. Love to have Jordan Cameron. Josh Hill. Question mark. Austin Seferius Jenkins. Tyler Eifert. Oh, shit. Well, I messed that up. Alright, Jordan Cameron it is. Let's figure. Yay. Okay. So, let's recap what just happened. I took a tight end. Oops. But that's actually where I would take a tight end right there based on who was available and who, and what I needed. The best value would be getting Jordan Cameron. I wish that it hadn't auto-drafted me Jordan Cameron because then I could actually see where Jordan Cameron would be going. Because I think he'd still be available a ways down the line. So it's my bad. I did not prepare. I was too busy in my own world talking to you. Anyway, Trout Perryman, it's fine. Alright, so who else left for tight end? So let's pretend somebody else took Jordan Cameron right then. Oh, then I get a little bummed. There's still a couple guys that I would be happy with. They're not down here, that's for sure. At this point, Austin Seferian Jenkins and Josh Hill would be worth the risk. But Kyle Rudolph, yeah, I could do Kyle Rudolph. I think I could do Tyler Eifert as well. Yes, there's a lot of tight ends left that I'd take. Jordan Cameron, like in real life, this Jordan Cameron pick 9 is who I'd take. In real life, I would have probably taken Tony Romo or probably Matt Ryan. I'd have to do a quick look for those two to see. I rode the Romo coaster a couple years back, and it was unsettling. But especially this coming year, seems like it'll be a little bit higher floor. All right, so I should start setting up picks. All right, so who's left for quarterback? Still same one. So I'm gonna do my best not to take a quarterback by accident. Scroll down a little bit. And I gotta say, I don't think Jordan Cameron was getting taken anytime soon. Me. Monty Ball worth a flyer here? Let's take Brian Quick. Take Jay Ajayi. So, Cameron out Spain. Alright, grab a couple of backups. I think JJ. We'll see what happens with Lamar Miller. Definitely want Cameron Artis Payne for his role in if and when the guy I did not take, Jonathan Stewart, gets injured. Alright, so who else? I really don't particularly have high hopes for Cody Latimer or Alfred Blue. That was an accidental click. Alright, there's stop it. Marvin Jones, yay. Yeah, if I make sure I load up my box with players that I would take that aren't tight end or quarterback, then I can limit the amount of chance that I'll make a mistake, and like I did before. Okay. I don't know, I'm just grabbing. Oh wow, Marvin Jones is going a lot higher than Mohamed Sanu. Guess I don't know. Guess the jig is up or whatever. Zach Stacy is going undrafted. I mean, that makes sense, but this is crazy to think about. I was reading a thread earlier today about like just mistakes that you made last year, and just seeing all the Zach Stacy going so high, Moneyball going so high. Who else went really high that I didn't think? There are a couple people who I saw going high, and I was like, "There's no way, there's no way." Those are two of them. Same with what's his name? Doug Martin. I was not a Doug Martin fan going. So it's round 13. So just cause. I'm not taking because they don't make you. I'm not taking a defense or shit. All right, so who's it gonna give me? Jameis Winston, maybe. Oh, they gave me Salt Lockett. So take a look. Since I took him, it was another 3 rounds before anybody took a tight end. And then the last couple tight ends that I potentially would have grabbed were gone. So the lesson learned is that you probably could wait a couple rounds, but you might as well take, when you're at that very end of your rope of the tight ends you're willing to take the tight end. Because in 9, getting Jordan Cameron there, especially versus who else was available, it's pretty good value. Plus, the next person off the board was dog shit, so I might as well not risk it. But you probably could have gotten an extra round or 2 out of that. But at what cost? Who are you really giving up to secure getting a tight end that you want? Quarterback-wise, I'm taking quarterback in the last round, and we'll see if I can get Jameis Winston. I guess just Jameis Winston is the only if I don't have him. If I'm somebody else, like watching this, not watching this video, but like someone else in the draft who's like, there's like that person doesn't have a quarterback. He didn't even take a defense or whatever. It's like, screw him. I'm taking whatever quarterback I can, just to prove that he's an idiot. But take a look. So round 6, I can grab Matt Ryan or Tony Romo. And also in round 7, I would not be able to get Tom Brady. He wasn't coming back. And neither was Eli Manning, who were the 2 I felt I could stack in rounds like 7 and 8 or 7 and 9. So it goes to show, Jesus, I guess where people are going. So yeah, that round 6 is the last chance you get to grab like a really good quarterback. Round 8, you could get a serviceable quarterback. Rounds 9 and 10, no quarterbacks were taken, so feasibly you could get, and then you could get kind of like any time from 9 through 12, you could get like a bottom of the barrel serviceable quarterback, and beyond there you're just trying to get lucky. So it really looks like the latest you can wait to be reasonable, if there's a run of quarterbacks, I guess, because that doesn't necessarily always happen where that many quarterbacks are taken that quickly. I get Jameis Winston. No, I didn't get Jameis Winston. It didn't even make me get a quarterback. So I didn't even get a quarterback. I would have had to go for Jay Cutler, and that would have been a terrible, terrible move. Probably. Maybe I would have got Mariota, because then it was like, well, man, Jesus Christ. Well, that was a train wreck, and exactly what you'd expect. I guess what I learned from it is that round 6, when I see that value, where I can get somebody like that value over whatever pick I would have taken. So like, to me, Tony Romo or Matt Ryan is high value over the pick I could have had in Joique Bell versus Keenan Allen or Victor Cruz or Abdullah. So I should have taken a quarterback there. And that's where I probably would have taken it. In a mock draft, I may not have, just because I get greedy. But in a real draft where I get like, I'll just take the quarterback. I'll take what I can get. Don't try to grab one extra round out of it, especially when the people on the line are like Joique Bell or Golden Tate. And then, see where we're going. So then the computer slapped some sense into me by forcing me to take a tight end. But yeah, Jordan Cameron was I would take Jordan Cameron just as quick as I'd take Daniels, Witten, Ertz, Dwayne Allen, possibly even Julius Thomas. So from round 7 to 9, and Marte, I mean, even Bennett. And yeah, I see Cameron above the people underneath that have been taken underneath him. So yeah, so that round 9, when I potentially could have gotten Jordan Cameron around 10 or 11, it was good that the computer snatched him before I was able to force myself not to take him, because he was the very end of the last tier of acceptable tight end startable tight ends. So that's what I learned. Pick 6. Should have grabbed one of those cornerbacks to get value. That's the first time I saw value, and that's the first time I saw value in a quarterback pick. And also, that was the last time I saw value in a quarterback pick. The tight end position, there were a couple times where I saw value in tight end. However, no, not really. The Rob Gronkowski thing is question mark, but outside of there, there was no other time I really saw great value at tight end. And even though I took him in the 9th and probably could have gotten him in the 11th or even 12th, yeah, I probably could have gotten him in the 12th, depending on what everyone else thought about him as a tight end. So there's only one other person who needed a tight end at that point. Yeah, just one other person needed a tight end. So he probably would have snatched, he probably would have snatched Jordan Cameron the second he thought it was available. So that, the first time you see value in either of those two positions, quarterback or tight end, it looks like you take it. First 2 rounds are questionable. All right, I hope, otherwise you'll end up with no quarterback at all, or the decision between Jay Cutler and Marcus Mariota. All right, I hope this was interesting, at the least. Maybe it was informative, probably not. Hopefully you were at least entertained. Takeaway: when you see value at quarterback or tight end, you take it, but only when you see value, because at some point in your draft, you will see a place where a quarterback or tight end, the quarterback or tight end you're available to take is going to probably perform better than the next available tight end or quarterback, more so than the player you're going to pick anyway. I probably said that clear sometime otherwise. Oh my god. All the words that are jumbling up. I'm probably going to cut all this ending out anyway, but probably not, because that's not what we do here at Eric Tries Too Hard. So I've said those 2 lessons about 17 different ways. Hopefully one of them made sense. Alright, see you guys. I'm going to go do another one.